300,000 Venezuelans in fear.
Venezuela doesn't have condition to receive criminals.
With their legal status set to end in less than 2 months. Upset in the Middle East.
We will not leave. Occupation and colonization will vanish.
On President Trump's plans in Gaza. A controversial confirmation.
My consideration that he will get this done.
RFK Jr. will face the entire Senate body after getting key committee votes and giving back.
To meet amazing people.
With an iconic Miami backdrop. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Julian Lascano.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Today is Thursday, February 6, 2025.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The clock is ticking for Venezuelans under TPS as the Trump administration continues to deport millions of undocumented immigrants. With just under 60 days until temporary protective status or TPS ends for Venezuelans, thousands could soon face deportation or be forced to find another legal pathway to stay. While immigration attorneys urge immediate action, local leaders and advocates are pushing back, calling on the Trump administration to reverse course.
Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Carla Mendez is live with the story. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Samantha and Julian. Currently, I'm in front of the heavily secured White House, where construction appears to be underway this morning. This is where the new policy from Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, was announced, stating that Venezuelans who received TPS protections in 2023 will lose them starting April 7th, over a year earlier than expected.
It's a decision that affects us in every way, and it's very scary.
The administration says the decision will help remove criminal activity linked to organized groups like Tren de Aragua, but many fear it could unfairly impact law-abiding TPS holders who have built their lives in the U.S.
I still believe that the government can give us another solution at any moment, because it is true there's a lot of migrants that came to do bad, but not everyone is bad. Most of us just came here to work.
With Florida being home to the largest population of Venezuelans with TPS, some state officials are pushing back. Florida Representative Carlos Jimenez warned Homeland Security in a letter not to unfairly stigmatize immigrants, urging the administration to instead focus on removing Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro.
Venezuela doesn't have condition to receive criminals. They don't have condition to receive a regular Venezuelan.
On Tuesday, Miami-Dade County Commissioners voted to urge the Trump administration to reverse course on the TPS decision. The move comes despite strong local support for Trump in the recent presidential election.
They can have another options. People who enter to the United States legally on the parole, they can probably be beneficiary of a family petition if they have U.S. citizen parents or U.S. citizen children. Probably they can apply for that, and that way they can probably legalize the situation in the United States.
As Maduro strengthens his grip over Venezuela, the country remains in political crisis. Venezuela is just one of the several countries with TPS at risk, as Secretary Noem pledges to review the designation of 17 countries under this status. Reporting live from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Carla Mendez.
Reactions coming in from world leaders this morning after President Donald Trump said the U.S. will, quote, take over Gaza and call it the Riviera of the Middle East. As Caplin's Aliyah Whitney reports, Palestinians feel outraged by the bold move.
In the ruins of Gaza, Sammy Ramadan is determined to clear the rubble where his home once stood, and he is determined to stay. Like so many here, he swiftly rejected President Trump's proposal to permanently displace Gaza's 2 million Palestinians in favor of a U.S. takeover. And the president's rationale for doing so.
What's the alternative? Go where? There's no other alternative. If they had an alternative, they'd much rather not go back to Gaza and live in a beautiful alternative that's safe.
But hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have decided to return to their homes. Alongside tents pitched amid the rubble, they have already begun to rebuild. They say they are undeterred by the scale of the destruction. Jordan and Egypt, the two countries Trump is pushing to accept Palestinian refugees, reiterating that Palestinians must be able to remain in Gaza amid what will be a years-long reconstruction. While Trump says his proposal is a humanitarian one, human rights experts call it a crime against humanity.
Their removal is equivalent to their forced exile, permanent and forced exile, the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, and the denial of their return, which is already a Palestinian condition.
So there's no question in your mind that what President Trump is suggesting here is ethnic cleansing?
There should be no question in anybody's mind.
Trump's proposal is being heralded on the right wing of Israeli politics, where lawmakers have long pushed for the forcible displacement of Palestinians.
Those who carried out the most horrific massacre on our land will find themselves losing their land forever. Now, with God's help, we will work to permanently bury the dangerous idea of a Palestinian state.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling Trump's proposal worth pursuing, but even as he stopped short of a full-throated endorsement, Netanyahu's broad smile said it all. He and the new U.S. president now speaking the same language. I'm Aaliyah Whitney, Caplin News.
And employees of the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, are being placed on administrative leave and must return to the U.S. This order applies to all USAID direct hire personnel, with an exception for certain leadership roles. The administration leave starts tomorrow, and those working outside of the U.S. should return within 30 days. Dr. Atul Gawande, a former USAID assistant administrator, shared his concern for the dismantling of this agency.
So this is the demolition, unconstitutional demolition of a critical agency, and it is it's going to cost lives.
The statement on the USAID website ends with a thank you for your service message.
One of President Donald Trump's most controversial cabinet picks passed an important hurdle on his way to confirmation. Caplin's D.C. Bureau correspondent Rafael Hernandez has more from the nation's capital.
The Senate Finance Committee voted along party lines on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination for Health and Human Services Secretary, moving it forward to a full Senate vote. And senators both on and off the floor were not shy about where they stood. The committee's 14 Republicans voted in favor of Kennedy, while all of the 13 Democrats voted against. All eyes were on Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, a Louisiana physician who chose to vote for Kennedy after what he said was an internal struggle over Kennedy's stance on vaccines and after 2 days of contentious confirmation hearings.
Based on Mr. Kennedy's assurances on vaccines and his platform to positively influence Americans' health, it is my consideration that he will get this done.
Florida Senator Rick Scott rallied support for RFK and President Trump on X shortly after the committee vote, tweeting, "We're fighting every day to get President Donald Trump's team confirmed. Obama had 23 confirmed nominees at this point. Trump only has 9, but we're not giving up. If he's confirmed as HHS Secretary, Kennedy will oversee agencies like the Centers for Disease Control and the Food and Drug Administration. This worries Senate Democrats.
I simply do not trust him to oversee the CDC. He's unqualified, and I dare say everybody here knows it.
He refuses to say that he will delay by even a day taking on anti-vax lawsuits the minute he leaves. That is an appalling conflict of interest.
A full Senate vote has not been scheduled. Kennedy needs at least 50 senators to secure his nomination, and if that were to happen, Vice President J.D. Vance would cast a tie-breaking vote. Reporting from the U.S. Capitol, I'm Rafael Hernandez.
A year after the terrible murder of John Walt Lay, the trial is underway. The defendant, Gerald Declan Ratchford, shot and killed in a dog park and is now claiming self-defense. The representative of the deceased party plans on using evidence directly from the victim before the incident took place and witness statements. ABC Action News reporter Adam Wasler has more on the story.
Opening statements got underway Tuesday morning in the trial of 66-year-old Gerald Declan Radford. He shot and killed John Walter Lay at a Tampa dog park early on the morning of February 2nd last year. Radford told investigators he shot Lay in self-defense after Lay attacked him with a metal coffee mug.
Gerald Radford shot and killed John Walter Lay. Mr. Lay was not armed with a knife or a baseball bat or a gun or anything remotely resembling a deadly weapon. And he shot him. And you're going to have to decide whether or not he did that legally.
Prosecutors say they will produce witnesses who will testify Radford taunted Lay for months because he was gay. They also plan to introduce as evidence a video Lay sent a friend the day before he died.
We're the only two here, and he comes up to me and screams at me, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die."
What the state just told you is a story. It's their theory of what happened. And so now, using that same evidence, I'm going to tell you a story.
Radford's attorneys say their client was forced to defend himself against a younger, bigger man who instigated the fight at the park.
If Walt's life had been threatened, would he have gone back to the dog park at the same time as Declan, and he knows Declan will be there, and furthermore go in knowing you're alone in there with him?
Prosecutors say they also plan to introduce evidence of Radford's own words when he testified at a Stand Your Ground hearing in December.
This all started when I'm not supposed to volunteer information.
No, go ahead. I can't wait to hear this.
He asked me to go out for a beer with him, and I said no.
What really dissolved their friendship, what really set us down the path of I'll break your jaw, I want to kill him, you're going to die, is that a gay man asked him out.
This is not murder because Mr. Diaz just got up and told you it is. This is not a hate crime because the state says it is. Make the state work for it. Their burden is so incredibly high.
A rescuer saved a boater who was suffering from a medical emergency after the boat went out of control. The incident occurred in Lake Diaz, Volusia County, north of Orlando on Tuesday. The boat started spinning in circles and caused the boater to collapse on deck. The sheriff's Marine unit boat was present there, getting close to the boat. That's when the rescuer jumped onto the spinning boat to turn off the engine and provide aid to the boater. The man was treated on shore and is expected to fully recover.
Butler traded Miami's number 22 moves to the Golden State while the Heat faced the 76ers.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Tonight you will see our young entrepreneurs, our little sisters, who are actually engaging in business.
A mentorship program is helping young boys and girls achieve big dreams. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
A mentorship program gives big brothers and big sisters to students helping the youth in Miami thrive. An event in Miami's Wynwood neighborhood to benefit the Big Brothers and Big Sisters program.
And as Caplin's Grecia Pacheco reports, it has a message for empowering women.
I'm here at Wingwood Walls, where tonight's event brings together women to inspire and support big brothers and big sisters of Miami.
More than 450 women gather amid Miami's renowned street art for a night of networking, philanthropy, and empowerment. Guests enjoyed live music, diverse cuisine, and interactive activities, all in support of BBBS' mission to uplift young lives.
It's our third year, and every year we try to double the revenue from the event. So we have amazing sponsors that have come in and given money, and we also have vendors who are here for free. They're donating all their product for free. We also have an auction. We have a live auction, and we have a raffle.
Tonight you will see our young entrepreneurs, our little sisters, who are actually engaging in business, learning all the tricks of the trade, salesmanship, if you will, the gift of gab, building relationships, and just I look around and see these littles selling the items that they put together, that they made. So the joy of them just seeing their work come full circle.
One of the mentees, or best called littles, was a 14-year-old Luciana Moreno, who has been part of BBBS for more than 5 years.
So this is the second year I get to sell my stuff. Here I make crochet items, and this has been the second year I've been able to sell them. So I got to meet amazing people, and I got to expand my business because on my own I couldn't have done this.
I want more bigs as a result of this event. So two things. I want people to sign up to become bigs. We need more big sisters. We need more big brothers.
Tonight's event is not just about fun. Organizers are hoping that women live more inspired and connected to causes that really matter. Reporting for Caplin News in Wingwood, I'm Grecia Pacheco.
In an unexpected turn of events, Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler has been traded off to the Golden State Warriors in a surprising multi-team trade. Butler is set to move to San Francisco with immediate effect, while Miami received Warrior stars Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson, as well as a protected 2025 pick. Golden State also sent Dennis Schroeder to the Utah Jazz, which also moved PJ Tucker to Miami. And while news of Jimmy's move to the Golden State rose, the Miami Heat face off against the 76ers at Philly. Tyler Hero balled out with a total of 30 points, leading Miami to a win. The final score was Miami 108, 76ers 101. The Heat will continue their away game stretch against the Brooklyn Nets tomorrow at 7:30 p.m.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
I'm Julian Scott. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.